And about a week after this experience, I get called into Dr. Susak's office, and he sits me down and he says, well, we found something. He goes, you have lymphoma. You have brain cancer. And my first response, I kid you not, I actually laughed. I laughed out loud. Cancer was nowhere on our radar. And so this made me, it was just hilarious to me, hilarious to my spirit. But I knew what God had said to me. And so now I have to face reality. This is my reality. But the truth is that God is a healer, that he heals and restores his people. Psalm 103, that he forgives all of our sin and iniquity and he heals all of our diseases. And I stood on that. I had to. I had a choice to make. Who am I going to believe more? And so it was pretty wild. I didn't have insurance at the time. And so the favor of God opened the door for me to go to a place called the Moffitt Clinic in Tampa Bay. Dr. Susak was friends with the governor of Florida at the time. And he called the governor personally and asked him to call the head of the Moffitt Clinic. And he called the Moffitt Clinic, and I was able to get in within days. At this point, it's Thanksgiving time, 2008, and doctors said, hey, we want you to go home. We want you to enjoy Thanksgiving with your family, celebrate, make it really special, in kind of a somber tone, kind of preparing me for the worst, like, hey, we don't know what's going to happen to you when you come back, but we're going to do our best to take care of you. And we celebrated Thanksgiving. We gave thanks to God. And on December 9th of 2008, I came back to the Moffitt Clinic. And I just knew there was something different in my body. I just felt it. And I felt the Holy Spirit on me. And I began to prophesy to every person, every attendant, every technician. They put me in an MRI machine for an hour and a half, full body MRI, just to double check, because that's what they got to do before they start something as serious as chemo on you. They want to double check. And so they put me in this machine, and I'm prophesying to all these people. And I just felt the Holy Spirit just giving me this utterance, this encouragement. I knew something had shifted in my body. And I get out of the machine, I go and wait in the waiting room, and then 3 oncologists come in with their white coats, and they sit down, and they're flustered. They look like a flock of flustered geese. They were just, what in the world has happened to you in the last 2 weeks since we saw you? And they put the scans down. They said, all 3 tumors in your brain have disappeared. And I slammed my hand down on the table, and I said, of course they have. And we just rejoiced in that moment. We thanked God in that moment that he did what he said he was going to do. Andrew, I'm taking it out of you. And I had a choice. I had a choice to believe that or not. And I chose to believe God. Now, hey, maybe even if I didn't believe it, God would still do it, because God is that good and he's that faithful. But I chose to believe God. I faced reality, and I watched him do a miracle in my body.